Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of paint a little detail of our, let me switch it over first. Let me see everybody, how everybody's doing. Gina, if you're not feeling good, I understand. You don't have to hang out the whole time. Okay? And I know Bonnie's got things going on too, so she's totally, I mean, I understand if any of you can't hang out, that's fine. That's what replay is for. So the other one I had to take down because there was just too much. And I think it was because the program I used, it after we did our last live, it ended up having an update. And usually when it has an update, it's because there was a glitch. So that's probably why everything was a little off. So I took that video, even though things were really off kilter, and I tried to clean it up, and I'm going to upload it later. I just didn't upload it yet. So that's the story with that. So I'm going to get started. I have titanium white, and I have a color called flesh tone, which is kind of cheating. So she's kind of in a distance, so it doesn't really matter too much as far as her flesh tone is concerned, because it's very impressionistic. So she's going to look very much on the small side in here, okay? So Aubrey, I wish, you know what, I keep forgetting. Remind me, Aubrey, to send you some art stuff, okay? Because I know your mom won't know what to get. And I keep forgetting you and Ari can both paint along sometime, if it's not this late. It is a little late, but you know, when regular school starts, that'll be the end of that, I'm sure. Okay. All righty. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna put some titanium white, and if there's anything, let me know, babe, if there's anything I need to know. And I'm gonna put a little blue or dark color. I'm gonna mix a couple colors together for some shading, and just put her in there. It's gonna be like probably the easiest part. And I shouldn't have said that, because you know what happens. Yeah, they're getting to know Aubrey a little bit. Aubrey is Elena's middle child. I just need a smidgen really for the face, and I have way too much for the dress. But I think what I'll do is I'll use what I have left over. I keep looking in the wrong camera, thinking that camera's on my computer. I'm gonna have what's left over for the trees here. Okay, all right, so let me get started. I'm going to paint an outline. I'm using a smaller brush, like a little filbert, even though it's long handled, and I'm going to put her right about here, close to the garden. Okay, so I'm going to start with try to see how short she is compared to the tree. And so she's going to start about here, okay, maybe here, and then her dress is going to come down to here. So I'm going to put her parasol up here, her little umbrella, and then I'm going to try to make her come down to here. And I better wet paper towel, and I know chalk won't show up for you, so I'm going to go ahead and use just a little bit of paint for the outline. All right, instead of chalk or watercolor pencil. That's good when you're doing your own, but it's just not going to show up on film. Okay, I hope everybody's doing okay. Otherwise, I don't want to put out everybody's medical issues out here, but I'll just say on public YouTube, but I'll just say I hope everybody is doing okay or feeling better or family members are hanging in there. Okay, so I'm starting out with her parasol, or her, I guess you guys, the younger generation might not know that word. It's another word for an umbrella. And when in the 70s, when some of us were getting married, we knew these terms because it was in style to dress vintage for the wedding. So I have enough here to leave a little space for her head. And now I'm going to just, I didn't want to bring that out that much. I want to drop her shoulders down a little bit. Okay. Okay. I'm going to leave a little space right here. Drop her shoulders downward. And then come down with the sleeve. And her sleeve is going to poof out right here. And then I'm going to have her bodice, have it poof out, because back then, well, it's a little too poofy. Back then, they had the higher waist dresses back then, so it was under the bust line. So then they kind of came out, the paintings at least show where they came out in kind of a curved form, and then they really didn't draw any attention to the bust line, so it's completely different from nowadays. And then I'm going to show her her arm. So I'm thinking her arm was probably up holding the umbrella, but you don't see all of that because it's impressionistic. Now what I'm going to do is put a little bit of a purple in here in order to make a shading. So just a tiny dot, because she's really small on this. This is a 11 by 14. No, 14. What is the size, babe?
11 by 14.
11 by 14. Yeah, I was right. It's an 11 by 14 canvas, so it's not a real big canvas. I think that came out a little too long too. So if you wipe it away fast, you don't have to worry about it. It will come off. If you take too long, it might not. But that's okay, because there's always fixes. Always ways to fix. Okay. So I'm thinking her hand is coming upward too. And then I'm coming out with this dress. So, okay. And then I'll put my shading in later. And I'll put my face in later too. What's everybody saying? Empire waist, yes.
I'm not getting anything.
Well, you need to probably turn it off and back on and start all over, because everybody else is seeing it.
Oh.
And everybody's chatting.
Oh, because I'm not getting any
So,
chatting.
Yeah, everybody's chatting. So her distance, she might be a little close here because I have to go by what size canvas I have. Okay. And I'm not sure I'm crazy about the way that dress is coming out in the back. So I have my little wet paper towel ready for me to, take out what I need to take out. Okay. And I just follow what I can follow on the picture, on the photo, on the original painting. This is a Monet, and if you're just joining me, I am Angie Green, and I used to be with painting with fibromyalgia for a few years, and then I opened it up so that more people would feel like they can join and not feel like they were not invited. Okay, so I didn't want it to be like an exclusive group that didn't want anyone to join them. Okay, I'm going to let this dry a little bit before I try to add on some shading. And I'm going to wipe my brush off, rinse it and wipe it. Can you see okay? Can everybody see okay? Okay, now I'm going to dip into this skin tone.
Gina says, Angie, did you teach yourself how to paint?
Who asked me that?
Gina.
Gina, yeah, I kind of did. But I have to say, it's not because I'm any kind of a genius or anything, but it's in my blood. It really is in my blood. And I don't remember, you know how people say they don't remember not drawing or doing something like that. I wasn't painting, but drawing is close. It really is the first step to everything else, no matter what they tell you. Some people would disagree. I strongly believe that. And I'm just going to use this straight purple for her hair. Straight dioxazine purple for her hair.
Aubrey says, wow, pretty dress.
It's turning out okay, huh? And then I need to, I went right from the dark, right? And instead of going into the white first, well, that's always a problem. Okay. That worked out pretty good. And then I'd like to take that white and bring it up. I tell you, this looks so much like my wedding dress, it's not even funny. But I need to go up on her neck with this white. Okay. It does though, doesn't it, babe? I had the hat and the dress. And if you guys don't believe me, go to my photos on my Facebook page and you'll see this dress. You will definitely see this dress. And little did I know, because I didn't know about Monet. I didn't know the art history growing up. My parents did like to take us to museums and everything, but I didn't have any formal teaching. And my mom was not, she did not have formal teaching in art either. So, okay, now I'm going to take this purple and I'm going to mix it a little bit with this, I have some skin tone I told you. We'll mix it a little bit with that to gray it up. That's almost like putting it with orange. I'm going to gray that a little bit. And then I'm going to add some shading. So that, maybe a little white, and add some shading. You know, a lot of things that are especially material like dresses and that, a lot of things that are white have very little white, which is interesting. You know it's white, but when you actually go to paint it, you're not using a lot of white. When it's said and done, you have used so much of another color that very little of it is truly white. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You know, rarely do you have to go straight for the white. So that's why sometimes I purposely leave my brush dirty so that that doesn't happen. So that I don't end up with a white. And now I'm going to go over here and then put a little bit on top of that dirty light purple. You could use yellow ochre and dab into that with the titanium white and dioxazine purple and still dirty up that purple a little bit so that it's more like shading and not like it's a lavender and purple dress. If it's kind of dirty looking, it's more of a shading color and not so much of a design color. Okay, so I have white. The sun is coming obviously from this side, so that's where I want some streaks of white to come down on the dress, some streaks, so to show a little bit of sunlight. I think it's coming from this direction, just like you would in a mountain. It's coming from this direction and it's bouncing off the hat and it's hitting some of the side parts of her body that's showing too. That's what I believe now in second thought. So she has a little streak of white here, a little streak there. There's some streaks on the bottom. Okay, now there's a really tiny detail, and do I have my detail brush out? No. But I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to use the purple that I put on there and not lighten it with the white. I'm just going to leave it purple, just a dot. I'm telling you, it's almost like a teardrop size. Because
says the painting is beautiful. I love her dress.
You like that? I'm gonna fix the flowers. They need to be whitened up a little bit. And I'm gonna put some shading on the bottom too to make it more realistic. I didn't rinse my brush. I didn't have to because I don't want it to be clean. I don't want it to be a clean dark color. So I have my dark purple and I mixed it with my, say, yellow ochre-ish color, which is actually skin tone color. And I'm going to make these diamond shapes. That's what he has in her dress. Now this does look like a design of the dress. And then over here it's going to be a little, all right, so that's interesting because it's just interesting. It makes me wonder what he was thinking when he did that. Like, it's different. I'm sure it's something that stood out to him. Like it's lace or something, and I'm sure it kind of stood out.
Obviously, I'm going to put a link to your channel.
Yeah.
In my description of my videos.
Oh. All right, you're breaking the rules, but I'm going to let you get away with it because you're my baby. You could go ahead. I think I'm going to change that too and let people go ahead and announce what channel they have on here. Because before I was strict because I wanted to keep it about more of a health type thing, which I'm tossing around, starting that back up again, but I don't want to add everything at once. I tend to do that. I tend to make too many changes at once. Okay, I'm going to let that dry because I want a little bit more white in this spot right here.
Dan asked everybody, she says, how's everybody coping with the pandemic?
How's everybody doing with that? That's a good question. How's everybody doing with that?
French Fry says, I'm being bored. BC, whatever BC means.
Because
I can't visit Jaja.
I know. That's like torture, right? It has been too long. And you know what? Some of the families, it's even harder, Aubrey, because they live so close and they still can't visit. So, yeah.
Poor Aubrey. I gotta go to bed.
Aw, Aubrey, that stinks. All right.
I
Well,
guess
I'll
I'll
have
watch
to.
the replay.
Maybe I'll throw an early one in there. Oh, that's too funny. All right. So I'm almost done, Aubrey. You know, this was going to be a little short anyway. And I have such sleep deprivation going on that I'm kind of glad, you know. I throw a little bit more white in.
Night, Aubrey.
Good night, Aubrey. Love you, baby. Tell
Night,
everybody
Aubrey.
hi.
Night, night.
Tell Ari, I'm glad she misses me too. And Thomas. Oh, that Thomas is a mess. Okay, so I don't know. I'm thinking that's kind of it with the dress. I'm thinking that's kind of it with the lady. Might make her hat stand out just a teeny bit more.
Aubrey says, night, Zha, Zha, Zha.
Night. Love you. Okay. Yeah, I think I like that better. Okay. And I'm going to dab a little bit into this. This is like fix-up time, too. I'm going to dab a little bit of the white in here. Just a little fix-up. Just want to do a little, brighten it up a little bit. I talk about things being too white, and then, but this needs some white. Definitely needs some white. So I just am using some straight titanium white. I don't want those to be too tiny. And then some up here. A lot of them are, it's interesting how these are, these little blossoms. And it's a really good time of year to paint this, right? This with this tree. It's kind of cool. And I need a little more yellow, greenish yellow in there. Let's see if I can find it. Time to go hunting again.
Elaine must be nagging her. She's finally, she keeps saying good night. And she's saying, well, bye everyone.
She's trying not to go. She misses her
And she says, I
Jaja.
love you too. I said, I love you. Good night.
She
Bye,
misses.
bye, bye.
She misses her Jaja and Jaju. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on, since I'm going to be leaving soon anyway, and while I'm playing with this, let me see if I can move
Aubrey
it.
says, okay, I'm getting off.
I know what she's going to do.
Then she says, I don't want to go.
Bye, Aubrey. Love you.
I can't. And she says she can't.
She can't now because I got on there. I messed it all up. Aww. Well, you know what? You're 10. You only got about, 8 more years to go? Oh, sure she didn't want to hear that.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. This looks like a
I don't know
good
what
color.
Elaine is doing.
I don't know.
Red lipstick kiss.
Mwah! It's funny, my stream is acting, my chat's acting nicer. Like, what is that about? I don't know what that's about. Everything's acting nicer. I think I'm even acting nicer. What is that? Okay, I want to have a little bit more.
Leanne says, okay, you have to tell us how these names came about for grandparents.
Ja. Oh, that's going to be a funny story. Okay, so.
That's Aubrey. I'm glad I don't have to go to school. Still still here.
Aubrey's gonna get in trouble. She's asking for it right now. Aubrey, you are
Spirit
asking.
says, yes, tell us.
Well, I visited my sister, and she was on her like fifth child. Let's see. No, that's a story. That's not true. She had a couple grandchildren. One grandchild, two grandchildren. I can't remember. But anyway, it was so cute because they were saying Gigi this and Gigi that. And she was like, oh, come to Gigi and Gigi and Gigi. And I was like, that's so cute. I says, well, you know what? I didn't have any grandchildren yet, you know. And I said, when I become a grandma, if you could be Gigi, I'm going to be Jaja. Simple as that, guys. That's it. That's pretty much.
Okay, bye.
I said, if you're going to be Gigi, then I'm going to be Jaja. So I stuck to that. I kept my word. And that's pretty much the story, guys. So anyway, I needed a name for George before Ari was born. I needed a name for George. I'm like,
Gina
well,
says, that's the name of my grandson.
What?
LOL.
What is?
I don't know.
Aubrey?
Maybe.
I needed a name for George. So I'm like, now what am I gonna do? So I'm just fixing up this stuff, guys, in case you're wondering. So I needed some contrasting greens, and I needed.
Deanne says, what about Jaju?
All right. So I was at I was at work. I was working, and at the time I wasn't in the NICU. I was doing mother baby. So, of course, I knew I was going to have a grandchild. My first, that would be Ariana. And I didn't have a grandpa name. I just had a grandma name. So I was interviewing people at work. You know, there would be like different nationalities, Chinese, Greek. I wish I could keep them straight because I would list all the grandma names for you if I could keep them straight and remember. I just remember some of them I did not find very something I would want. I have to be politically correct. Some of the names I did not care for, okay? And so I still didn't have anything that would go, just anything that just like, you know, what can I say? Anything that really grabbed me, right? So anyhow, I have a friend who's Polish. And I said, I need a grandpa name. I says, what's the grandpa name? Oh, some of the names too. This is something I learned I thought was interesting. Some of the grandma and grandpa names depended on which side of the family. Some of them were paternal and maternal. They would be different. You know, I thought that was interesting. So I asked my friend Joanna, who's Polish, first generation here, and didn't come here until she was grown and married. And I believe she already had, you know, children and stuff at the time. Yeah, I had to think about that. So I asked her, I said, what are the names for Grandpa? And she said, Jaju. And I said, perfect. So Jaju is truly a grandpa name. Mine is more of a Jaja Gabor Hungarian name. It's not really a grandma name, but I liked it because I couldn't steal my sister's Gigi. I didn't want to. I wanted to be unique. And I was like, why not? So that's how that went. I'm just brightening up some of these things in this picture because they
Yes, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so we had moved, we were new in the area, not that long in the area, so we didn't know many of the friends in the congregation at the time that well. And one of the male members of the congregation, I guess they were in their 40s, and they were like, oh, and I had Ari with me. She was brand new. And he says, what is your grandma name? And I said, now mind you, he didn't know me that well. And I said, Jaja. And he started laughing. He said, I could have guessed that. I should have known. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I'll just say thank you.
Leanne says Green Acres.
Oh, I should have known. Like, I am so far out there. Oh, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Okay, I'm getting lighter and lighter with this. That's what I wanted because it looks like it's really catching some sun. So that's what I wanted, and I want this to be a little lighter too. Okay, so it's getting there. It's like layer and layer and layer. I knew the lady was going to be the easiest part of this painting. I had that feeling. Okay.
Says, this is a place for me. Farm living.
Farm. Green. I don't want to sing into this microphone. That might not be a good idea. So I'm going to take, oh, you know what I wanted, babe? And I never did go get it. I think I saw the red somewhere. The red that I need. Huh? You would think, right? Here I am making all this noise again. I found some orange. Maybe I'll use some orange. I think that'll work. I'm going to use some orange on top of this dark red. But this is Liquitex, so we'll see. Not my favorite. Oh, it's not sticky. Huh. Here's a Liquitex. I think it's the dark ones that really have a problem. Oh, this is turning out nice. Here's a Liquitex that's not all nasty. Surprise, surprise. So some people love the stuff. I think it depends on where you live and who their distributors are. I have to put some sun on this side of the flowers in case anybody's wondering what I'm doing. I'm adding some sun because this is where the sun is, and it's actually, I cheated the garden out of some flowers, but, and then I want a brighter green down here. So I definitely need to get some, oh, that made it a little too minty. I need to get some more yellow. Oh, I know what my problem is. I'm using this student grade yellow, and student grade yellow is the pits. So let's see if I have some real yellow in here. I had some last time. Where did it go? Could you ramble through here so I'm not in the microphone and see if you find some yellow? This might be the only one though.
Yellow?
Yeah. Yeah. This might. Ooh, this is gross. Okay. This might. You know what? I think this will work. I think that looks good right there. That looks good right there. I think, as far as the flowers go. Okay. I thought I was going to be able to leave this one up and not have to take it down, but I don't know.
But you're not done yet.
I know. I'm talking about when I get done.
Oh.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to edit this, But I think it's okay. I think it's just that one little section toward the middle. But yeah, I want to go back now. I let my paints dry. I want to go back and put a little bit of light green in here. A little bit of more of the light.
What's that, for the shadow?
No, for you know, I have it too. Let me move this over. I have it a little too, well, I guess it's supposed to be dark on that side. I just wanted a little bit more green, true green right here. A little more true green. It's kind of how it shows in the painting. Just not enough green in here. Okay. All right. And then a little bit of okay, that looks pretty good. A little bit more green in here. Little green in there. And some yellows. Blended yellows. Yeah.
Gina says, hugs and kisses all. I'm
All right.
going to chop my knee off.
Oh, poor
Yeah.
Gina.
LOL.
Poor girl.
Taking meds and going to bed. Good night.
Yeah, take care of yourself. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this and put it up. Oh, I didn't do my clouds. I need to do my clouds. It only take a couple of minutes because I don't get too crazy with clouds.
Don't you need to do the shadow too?
Oh, and I need to do the shadow, but I need to do the clouds first because the clouds are white-ish. They're white-ish.
Anthony's here.
Hi, Anthony. Anthony's back from his choir,
Great.
music. He's back from his music.
Looking great. 2 thumbs up.
You're liking it, huh? Oh, you know what? If you were to watch it on the replay, you would see me playing with my focus forever. But I think it's kind of Monet-ish. It's kind of a little bit Monet-ish. I'm gonna throw some clouds up here. Just play a little bit with the clouds because there are supposed to be some clouds in here. I gotta put some Monet clouds in there. So let me see if I do that any justice. So, I got in my own way here. Let's see if I could do this again. Okay. You know, I've had these cameras for a long time, probably 5-ish years. So, of course, they might be seeing the end of their lifespan. Let me tap that purple a little bit. There was some purple in there. Okay. Trying to get a little
Anthony
Monet-ish.
says it's putting me in the mind of Monet.
Well, I hope so. I hope so, Anthony, because this is it is a replica. I hope I did it some justice. But you know, You know, when you get on here, you do lives, that's all you can do is hope. Because a lot of it just depends on how things go. Okay. I want more blue. A little bit more blue. I'm just playing around, mixing my blues and whites and
Leanne says gorgeous.
You're liking it? Well, thank you. They have the little teeny short strokes right here. I'm going to try to do that some justice. Little teeny short strokes with the titanium white.
Vera likes it too, loves it.
You know, Monet had those dramatic skies with the little tiny short strokes. But the color would vary too. If you look at it carefully, there'd be like some purples in there and some blues and then some whites. And I'm sure time had a little something to do with it too. You know, how much time passed after he finished painting them. And his paintings were oil. Acrylic is a new thing, so that has something to do with it too. So it's going to be impossible for me to totally replicate his work. But it is so fun to try to get as close as possible. You know, it is a lot of fun. To try to get there. Okay. And I feel like I kind of got there, kind of. Sorta. So I'm glad you were able to stop by, Anthony. I know you have stuff to do, so I appreciate it because I know you went out of your way.
Leanne says, I wish I could paint like that.
You can, but...
And you make it look so easy.
You can, but you have to paint along. You have to paint along because watching isn't going to get you there. But Leanne paints nice too. Because I've seen her stuff before. Okay, so that's the best I could do as far as that's concerned, I think. You know, I go in there and I change things. But that's close enough. And I think, now I'm going to try to bring the painting a little closer to you. Oh, George tried to remind me too. I did not do my shading. I did not. I have to put a little shading there where her dress is on the bottom. I forgot. And I don't know. The fact that George told me I forgot, or did somebody else say it, makes me think he should be painting too. So I put some purple down and I'm going to dirty it up a little bit with the, oh, what did I just do?
Baby down.
Huh.
Leanne says, give you a drink. There's your drink right there.
I know, right? I get so hyper-focused. I was doing that earlier. Oh, Leanne, you would be just shocked all the stuff I did today. Not in the house, because this house has not improved since moving this junk in. But I mean like retirement, computer paperwork for retirement. And I really mixed a bunch of colors together. So here's what I did. I took some purple. I took some of that skin tone color, which is like yellow ochre. and some green. So I have an almost black because this color coming from her is almost black, and I'm going to bring it out this way. Okay, I'm definitely going to go around her very close to her dress, almost just a line around her dress, and I'm going to catch the front of her dress, and I'm going to try to bring it out in almost a straight line and soften. I'm going to soften the edges. Okay, I'm going to soften the edges a little bit. And what I mean by that is I'm going to make them just a tad lighter. So I'm going to put a little bit of that brownish color in there, more of that skin tone color, and then come in a little bit. So I'm going from the edge and I'm coming in a little bit with a lighter color on that side, and make it a little less perfect. Okay, with the lighter color. And the lighter color I achieve by using a little bit more of the yellow ochre in on my dry brush. Okay, so that should dry enough to blend in a little bit. I'm wondering if I should mix a little bit lighter green in there so it's not quite so dark. A little bit more of a little bit more of, there we go. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave well enough alone on that. I see too much sharpness there, but his picture is kind of like that too. But anyway, I'm gonna post it up for you guys. But thank you for coming. I have to plan our Zoom. We're gonna have a Zoom one of these days, okay? So I will think about that. You guys think about that. I might make it a little later. Because there's two people that have a hard time with 9 o'clock. There's Sherry and there's Anthony. So it might be 9:30 for the Zoom. Okay? All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Love you guys. George says bye too. Bye-bye. Oh, goodness.
Here it says get some rest.
Okay. I broke it.
Yeah, you broke it. Nice.